Good afternoon, everyone. I am Arlene Villegas. I will continue the discussion of Ms. Navarro, which is entitled The Role and Responsibility of the Teacher, Administrator, and Stakeholder. So here I will discuss the parents as stakeholders, students as a stakeholder, and community as stakeholders. So parents as a stakeholder. So parents are also considered as a stakeholder in education because in some case, students cannot achieve their full potential interest in learning unless their parents are actively involved in their education. So it states here that parents desire a successful educational system for their children. So of course, they desire the success of the educational system because the school will provide the education, knowledge, and skills of their child. Aside from that, parents are responsible for providing the financial needs and the education of their children. So as a result of this, when parents desire this kind of success for the school or institution, they are more engaged in a great partnership between their children, the teacher, the school, and the community. So they will actively participate in the continuous improvement of schools towards the attainment of the students' higher learning outcomes. So overall, this kind of desire will be seen as parental involvement in the educational system. On the other hand, it also states here that the parents initiate and maintain constructive communication and relationship with schools and other involved providers to achieve the best educational, social, and emotional outcomes for the student. So parents must also be collaborative and involve themselves with the school to build a relationship with the teacher and other staff. Through communication across the home and school, parents and teachers can share information about the child's progress so they can discuss the student's needs and interests to find the right opportunities to promote learning experiences. Meaningful conversation between parents and teachers creates mutual understanding. It also enhances both parents and children's experiences with school. A good communication between the parent and the teacher will inform both sides whenever there are social or emotional needs of the learner. It enables to identify and address the needs of the child. So as a result, parents as a stakeholder in education must possess a good relationship and good communication to the institution, the teachers, and other staff. It states here that they actively participate in the planning, implementation, review of education adjustment plans designed to assist the students to achieve optimum educational outcomes. So just like the impact of the pandemic last school year, there was an implementation of online classes and modular learning. So the parents had to go to school para kuha ng mga module, and then basically, they teach and assist their children sa katong mga lessons and topics nga nasa module. So as we reflect it, parents also had the role to provide an education to their child. They participate and adjust depending on the required education system of the school. So in order to achieve optimum educational outcomes to the students, the parents must do the roles and responsibility also as being part of the stakeholder in education. So here we have the students as a stakeholder. So the students are the main stakeholders as they are the chief beneficiaries of an institution. So the most significant stakeholders in the institution are the students. They are the primary reason for the existence of an institution because they are the ones who are doing the learning. So thus, students are directly impacted by the educational system and are the greatest stakeholders in education. Kaya kung walay students, definitely there are no teachers, there are no principals, school or the institution. That is why students are considered as the main stakeholders on education. In the past, the role of a student as a stakeholder was seen as a receiver of knowledge as his or her participation was not active enough in the teaching-learning process. So here, a student was considered as a consumer who wanted a product of knowledge. So the point view for me here brings negative feedback because Students are looked up upon as the customers, so they were seen as a purchaser or consumer instead of being a learner. So because of this, in return, the students will treat the institution with little or no interest. It will come up with the idea that if their expectations are not met, they are bound to take the business elsewhere. That is why they will shift to any other institution or school which will fulfill their expectations and requirements. So moreover, it has been suggested that the institution must provide actions necessary to impress upon the students the idea of them being the participants and not mere passive recipients or either customer. So when the students feel they are an integral part of the system, a sense of belongingness, ownership, and pride will automatically follow and will eventually lead to quality enhancement in the institution. So therefore, instead of seeing them as a consumer of knowledge, the institution must encourage, motivate, or find relevant methods to engage the students' educational attainment and to make them feel they were not just a mere recipients, but a member and the main stakeholders in the institution. Another view of the students should be seen as a partner in the teaching-learning process, participating in co-curricular and extracurricular activities to develop their personality holistically. So in the teaching-learning process, learners are responsible for attending class and completing reading and other assignments as prescribed by the teacher. So participating in co-curricular and extracurricular activities, it will develop their personality holistically. So it will help the students to develop problem solving, reasoning, critical thinking, creative thinking, communication, and collaborative abilities. It will also meant to bring social skills, intellectual skills, moral values, personality progress, and character appeal in the students. So therefore, as the most significant stakeholder in the institution, the students must be partnered in the teaching-learning process. So they must engage themselves in school activities and do participations in co-curricular and extracurricular activities. So the last topic that I'm gonna discuss is community as a stakeholders. So the success in the implementation of the curriculum requires resources. So of course, the institution also needs manpower, financial support, and government funding. So here in the community as stakeholders, the members may provide materials in the existing local community that can very well substitute for what is needed to implement the curriculum. They may support or provide books, materials, and facilities in the school. They might also provide direct assistance for curriculum implementation in the form of resource persons, school volunteers, and any other personal forms of contributions to the effort of the school. So for the success of its implementation, the institution needs support and collaboration from the community. So all community members can be considered stakeholders in education. So this is because local schools educate future employees, business owners, and community leaders. Respected community members may be included in school boards. Some can become resource speakers that can provide local and indigenous knowledge in the school curriculum. So whenever there are individuals who possess the required skills on the curriculum, they can definitely help or be part of being a stakeholder in education. So others may be asked by the curriculum, especially to contribute in curriculum review because they have a voice in licensure exam or curriculum enhancement and the others. So community as a stakeholder described as a solid educational system builds a stronger community. So a solid education system builds a stronger community by better preparing its students to be successful community members. A well-educated community can thrive and grow not just intellectually, but also economically and socially. They likely to be civically engaged, inform, and participate in their community. And as a result, communities with a high level of education tend to have more businesses, higher property values, and less crime. So ultimately, a solid education system is a key ingredient in creating a thriving and a sustainable community. It provides individuals with the skills and knowledge that they need to be success and helps to build vital social and economic infrastructure. So overall, a solid educational system will build a stronger and healthier community. In short, the educational system will not only benefit the participation of the community, but also the community itself will benefit the success of the solid educational system of the institution. So this ends of my report. Thank you so much for listening. God bless everyone.